Many moons ago, Rust was known as a video game, or the process of iron oxidization, but after spending many months in the Malik Gulag, you'd know it as the programming language built to fix an elevator that sneaked its way into big tech production servers. The language known for $0 at checkout abstractions, and more recently known for proving the haters wrong. Even I'm guilty of this. A few days ago, I wrote off Rust for not being used in production, which is true compared to mainstream languages, but getting a brand new language adopted is brutally hard. Even Google's so-called C++ killer Carbon didn't survive the hype cycle long enough to get past the GitHub project phase. In 2022, Rust accounted for only 9% of developer adoption according to the Stack Overflow survey. That number has now jumped up to almost 15%. For context, OCaml, the language otherwise known as Jane Street's employee DRM, doubled in usage from a grand 0.59% to 1.2%. So once you wash away the memes and the blue hair dye, with Rust you're left with a blazingly fast, skill-issue-driven, delightful programming language. A programming language that's been quietly backed by big tech. Amazon built Firecracker in Rust to power AWS Lambda and Fargate. Microsoft is rewriting parts of Windows and Azure in Rust so your blue screens render faster. Google added Rust to Chromium and Android. Meta uses it for Mononoke, their Git alternative. Instead of fixing obvious issues like the awful experience of opening Discord, they rebuilt their backend in Rust, so at least when you say easy clap at 3 a.m. it actually gets delivered. Dropbox also moved file sync to Rust. And finally, Twitter's core algorithm, and yes, it's still called Twitter, runs a Rust ML serving layer. Now why do I bring all this up? Generally, when big tech companies adopt a technology, they don't do it based off the hype cycle. Well, most of the time they don't. And they certainly wouldn't be building critical infrastructure on it. They normally place these bets for the most important thing in tech, generating shareholder value. Because remember, nothing ever happens except line graph go up. And you can only build shareholder value with a stable, reliable, and robust programming language with a bright future. Now what if you took the shareholder away? It still works because Newt likes a bit of Rust too. The Linux kernel has been supporting Rust for a few years now, and while there's been a bit of drama surrounding it, there's also been a surprising amount of progress. Ubuntu recently announced they're going to be shipping major core utilities in Rust, and by core utilities I don't mean like a random driver hiding somewhere in your squiggly line /bin directory. I mean sudo is going to be run by Rust. Gabe and his team have also been backing Rust, with Proton, Valve's Linux distribution, supporting Rust for a few years now. Python's also been getting a bit rusty. UV, the Python package manager, is written in Rust. It replaces the dependency circus of pip, poetry, pipex, and virtually env. It's like Python finally finished their winter arc and locked in. Rust also powers WASM. Figma uses it to render massive design files 3 times faster. Shopify uses it to run partner code securely. Rust compiles to WASM, which you can think of as a tiny, safe CPU in your browser. Now, despite all this, there's an elephant-sized learning curve in the room we have to address. On one hand, the complaints associated with the Rust learning curve more commonly come from JavaScript developers not being able to ignore something new and shiny. But if you have a background in non-woke programming languages like C++ or Zig, learning Rust isn't that much harder. And if you don't have that kind of a background in low-level programming languages... Oh, sorry, did I say low-level? I actually mean a high-level language with low-level capabilities. It's a fantastic skill to invest in, especially if you don't have the background. Fundamentally, Rust is good. Although adoption isn't astronomical, if you enjoy the language, go for it. I'm not going to sit around and tell you, Rust is the future. You need Rust or you're not going to make it. Top 10, 12 reasons to learn Rust now. Calm. It's a cool, growing technology with upwards momentum. Don't try to be one of those ROI bros calculating everything. You're not a Sigma male. You're just an overthinking weirdo. Like with any technology, if you have the privilege to learn it, and yes, learning is a privilege for many people, and more importantly, you have an actual project you want to build with Rust, freaking go for it. Now, whether you're using Rust or any other programming language, programming has become a lot easier thanks to the sponsor of today's video, warp.dev. Warp isn't just another boring terminal or AI code editor. You can think of it as an agentic development environment. Warp is number 1 on Terminal Bench at 52%, and in the top 3 on SWE Bench at 75.8%, proving to be one of the most capable coding agents out there. It's a fully native workbench, combining programming, AI agents, and CLI tools in one place. You can execute complex workflows with natural language, reprompt your agents, and see the diffs in line. You can edit the code directly without having to context switch between multiple apps. Warp is also production grade. It's not just for little toy projects. So you can pick the best model for the job, run agents from the terminal, and review every change in a dedicated panel. You can get started for free or use my code BIGBOX at checkout for 1 month of Warp Pro at just $1 with plenty of free AI credits. Thank you to Warp.dev for sponsoring this video, and thank you for your time. I am Big Box.